Hey, thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44 if you have. My name is Tori Chrisman. I was in the Church of Scientology, which isn't really a church, in my opinion. It's a cult, or it's really a fraudulent business pretending to be a religion. And you have to pay for everything. It's like a triangle. I've told people all the time you have to pay for every single level all the way up. And ironically, the higher up you get, the more money it is, and the less freedoms you have. It's kind of ironic. And people are like, why would someone do that? And obviously, if we knew what you know, we would not do it. Hi, 49ers for life. I finally got to meet him. It was great meeting you yesterday. That was fantastic. We were at a protest yesterday on L. Ron Hubbard Way. That's what this is about. It was basically kind of in honor of Laura FM, whose father is still in, and she had run into him, I think last summer, and said hello to him at the shrine, and he just walked right by her. So we had a protest and in honor of the children that grew up in Scientology. Hi, Tani. How are you? Yeah, 49ers for life, and I had a great time. It was really, it's so fun to meet people that you know online, and then you meet them in person. It's really great. He has a great story, too. So, anyway, I'm glad you're here. So, believe it or not, I mean, it really kind of blew my mind, but somebody sent it to me. It's a video of Laura's father on Father's Day saying how great her life was, how she grew up in these fabulous schools, which I know a lot of children who were there, and I know. Hi, Eric. Hello from Eric in Culver City. Oh, good. You celebrated Father's Day with your dad and mom. Good, 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 good. Very good. Send them my love. They did a good job with you. So, I forgot what I was saying now. I got off on the talking to Eric. What was I talking about? Father, about Laura's father. So he basically, this is just typical of Scientology. They twist things around all the time. If it's something good, they did it. If it's something bad, the SPs did it. It's always the way they run it. It's never, wow, you did a fantastic job. No. If it's good, it's because of the tech and Scientology and blah, blah, blah. If it's bad, it's because of you. Even if it's because of them. Hey, Never In, Aaron. That's funny. Hi, Dawn. It was pretty wild seeing the old Scientology handler that Drew knew. Yeah, I know. There was a guy that sat behind us that Drew knew. What is his name? Brian? I forget what it is. Drew knew him. Drew and I have been protesting for years, literally years, and he keeps really good track of, videos and videotaping things, and he can pull people up. And mostly, we used to be able to talk to the security guards. They'd come out, and we'd talk to them. That's why we know Odo, because we've spent hours talking to him. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Ouch. Your father committed suicide in 2016 at 83. I'm really sorry about that, Dawn. I mean, 49ers for life. Dawn is the one whose father. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. That's awful. His name is Jeff. I actually pointed at, oh, yeah, Jeff. That's it. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Suicide is never a solution. Never. And the thing is, it does affect so many people for so many years after it happens to one person. So that's why I tell people don't do it. The Scientology handler's name is Jeff. Okay, good. Thank you, 49ers for life. And Tani, hi. Hey, yeah, Aaron. Hi, everyone. Good, 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 good. So what happens is they often will twist things around. Like her father made a video and they put it on their YouTube site, from Laura's father saying how great her childhood was, which, if you listen to her story, it wasn't great. And I know, excuse me, I know many of the children that grew up in Scientology. It was also really cool meeting Ribgot. I know, yeah, it was really cool. So they twisted around, and her father twisted around, making it sound like she had this great childhood. And then, of course, at the end, the coup d'état is she broke up the family, not him. They can never take responsibility for what they actually did. And the ironic thing is, they're really big on taking responsibility, but can they? Not really. CO Bill F. All right. Hi. Welcome. In the Elk of Antioch, hail Emperor Xenu, his Lord High Admiral of Neptune, Mini Miscavige. Good one. Good one. Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing Rib Guy, and he got home fine too. I talked to him. So that was good. He came a long way, and Nora came. She flew in. That was good. So I haven't seen her in a while, so that was good to see her. There was a lot of nice people. I didn't get to talk to a lot of people. It was so rehearsed and conniving. I know, it's very sad. It is, because it's phony, and you can feel it. I mean, I'd love to ask someone who has nothing to do with this to listen to it and see if, listen to it, listen to Laura, and see what they think. I would put $1,000 on it. They know it's BS. It was so rehearsed. It was. That's what they do. And twist it around, right? So that it's all basically they're great and Laura's the bad person. And we're always the bad people, the SPs. They use that for everything. And you know what? You're really losing on that, Miscavige. It's not working. It really isn't. We're proud to be SPs. Call us an SP. We're special people. That's what we are. Hey, Claudette. Hi. How are you? Thank you for coming by, all of you. Hey, Sophie. Hi. Good evening. So we're just talking about how Scientology twists facts around. I don't know if you saw it, Sophie, but Scientology actually put up a video with Laura FM's father, who's still in Scientology, saying how great her childhood was, which is a total lie for her viewpoint of it. It wasn't at all, and it still isn't. It's like when your parents won't talk to you. That's just weird. It just is Scientology. You want to be thought of as a real religion. It's never, ever, ever going to happen until you stop doing this abusive stuff. Not ever. Oh no, another hostage video. Well, Laura's been out for a while. Are you talking about a different one, or the one with you mean her father? A hostage video? I don't know that he's a hostage. He's staying there. It is mind control. That's the thing. It's tricky. Because people think, how could someone stay? But you have to understand, most of us that got in and were in when we originally got in, there was no internet. So there was no access at all to the facts that nothing. I mean, if you went to talk to someone who was declared suppressive, because they immediately declare you suppressive if you have information against the church or Hubbard or Miscavige. So you can't go and talk to them. And there was no internet, so there's no access to it. Now there is. And they're having a very difficult time with that. Cat was okay. I tried to watch that video with Aaron, but it was too heartbreaking for me to watch. I gotcha. Yes, I see. I saw Laura's dad's video. The freaky thing is, if people don't know about Scientology, they might think he's being genuine. But I guess he believes, so he is being honest. I don't know. I really don't. I don't. I don't know. I can't imagine. I've watched those, you know, the the evolution of the children, and to for someone to have in your head that they had a great life, no way, no. And the ranch was a great place to go. No, there was a lot of abuse that went on there. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of Scientologists will not see this. So that's, because they keep that well blocked off. So they'll only see his side of it and not Laura's. But we'll keep protesting. We'll keep talking about it. We'll keep making videos. Somebody might click on this tonight who we don't know, that they're not out, they're in. And I want you to go and keep researching. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You have every right. It's called free speech. And it's in this country of the United States of America. You have that freedom. And you should use it. Sorry, Tori, I meant as a true believer, her father probably believes what he's saying. How upsetting. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't disagree with you at all. It's just pathetic. It is. But I think you're right. That's part of the sad part of everyone who disconnects. I mean, my ex-husband is in Scientology and won't talk to me. They can't. It's not like they won't. They can't. They'll be declared suppressive if they talk to you. Hey, Danny. Hi. I love you. It was fun seeing you yesterday also. Just have to keep chipping away. That's right. And hope you get through to some people in there. And also, one of my friends has a really good new plan for another way for good stuff to be coming your way, Scientology. Um, Heavy Grand Pinto. All right. The internet was the downfall of most religions, I bet. I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, but once I started doing my own research online, I opened my eyes and I got out as fast as I could. That's good. That's really good. So was 49ers for Life. He was a Jehovah's Witness also. I got a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses out. Not a lot, but more than I thought. It started with just some young kids, and they wrote me and they said, we were watching your videos and laughing at you, because I used to make them real goofy in the beginning, because so many people in 2000 were very, very serious and everything was awful, and it was just too much, I felt. So I started out, with Mr. Anonymous and stuff like that, and just goofy stuff, and make it kind of fun, and then I would roll into stuff about a topic. And so they said we were laughing at your videos, and then one of my friends said, we actually do the same stuff they do. It's just a different name. Like, they have shunning, we have Scientology has disconnection. They have many similar things. So anyway, they got out because of it. And another lady came up to me at a gift show and started tapping me on the shoulder, and I said yes, and she said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you. And I said, no, it's okay. What's up? And she said, I'm part of your YouTube site. I said, really? How? Like, what got you to come to my YouTube site? And she said, well, I have two kids that are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I've spent years trying to get them out, and I just couldn't. And then I started watching your videos and showing them your videos, and they're out. And I just wanted to thank you. And I thought, that just means so much. Yeah, I'm sorry you missed the protest. That's okay. That's okay. There's going to be more. Believe me. You were at work. Okay. That's understandable. The similarities between Jehovah's Witnesses and Scientologists are wild. Same controls, same strict rules. The weird thing is that is true for every cult. I went to a cult conference, and people would be talking away, and I think, you're ex-Sea Org. No question. And I'd go up to them and I'd say, are you ex-Sea Org? And they'd go, no, Church of Christ. And I'd go, wow. It was like no, I'm Jehovah's Witness. No, I'm this, I'm that. It was like they all have the very, very, very similar things. Tori is loved by the XJW community. Oh, thank you, 49ers for Life. I appreciate that. I love your Nick, too. It was so fun to meet you. It really was. And anytime anybody can meet me, call me and we'll get together because I love meeting people that are online and, that I know. Sophie, I love how many people you have and do help. You're the best, Tori. Thank you, Sophie. You're the same. You do the same. A lot of you people help people. That's, it was interesting. This is kind of a little secret that I haven't told, but I'm going to tell you guys. Let's see, the sabotage machines. I went into the Scientology building yesterday to get a tour as a joke. I think they knew I wasn't serious because I wouldn't fill out, yeah, the guest check in card. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm glad you're out. Eaglewood. All right. JW got Bethel. It's the same like Sea Org. JB got Bethel. So the Jehovah's, I don't know what Bethel is. I guess I don't know what that is. Did you have an amazing time? I did. I really did. I mean, I loved meeting. I got to meet 49ers for Life. I got to see Rib Guy and spend some time with him, which, you know, he's really a great guy. We had talked on the phone a lot, but we finally got to meet, so that was fun. Um, I got to see Laura. I got to see Nora. Nora came down from up north. She flew in, so that was great. Everybody that was there was great. The only thing I feel bad about is that I don't get to spend more time with more people. Like I got to talk to Audit LA a little bit, but I knew she was really busy, so I tried to just kind of drop back. And I'm going to just plan to get with her because she's a great. I'm really thankful for everything she did and everybody who helped her because I know a lot of people helped her get the whole protest going and stuff. It's a lot to put on something like that. It is. It takes time. But yes, I had a really good time and I really enjoyed being there. We could do it every week as far as I'm concerned. I'm a protest person. That's my thing. And Drew is too. We've been protesting for years because you never know. Like I met Aleister Crowley's granddaughter. We were protesting and she came up to me and she goes, "Just so you know, I'm Aleister Crowley's granddaughter." And I'm like, "Really?" I was just like, "Oh my God, can you imagine that?" I mean, I hope you guys know who that is, but Hubbard was originally with Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley and Hubbard, the three of them. And there's a whole giant book about it. But Bethel is the administrative side of JW. My friend's mom wanted, wait, I lost you. My friend's mom wanted him so bad to join. Oh, but he didn't. Good. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I've never heard that word, Bethel. This is the first time tonight. They work in Bethel just for the cult. Total devotion. Yeah, Scientology has that too. They just don't have a name for it. I mean, they have the Sea Org, but half of it is administrative and half of it is the tech. I love it. Welcome. We're talking about how they've twisted things around. I don't know if you've seen the video that the Church of Scientology put out with basically, I'm sorry, I don't have it to put on here. I don't know how to do that. I still don't know how to do it. One day I'll learn. But anyway, it's a video of Laura's father that Scientology put on their YouTube site saying what a great life she had. And she went to these fabulous schools, which I know the schools personally, and they were a nightmare. So he's just lying through his teeth. And then at the end, of course, the twist is she broke up the family. They didn't. And it's ironic because that is one of their biggest things. You aren't being responsible enough. You need to take more responsibility. They have a whole course on responsibility. Is that responsible? I asked her father, is that responsible to lie through your teeth like that? Your daughter didn't have a great childhood. You know that. You have to know that In your heart somewhere you have to know, come on, I was there. I mean, I wasn't at their school, but I saw the orgs and I saw the kids when they were little kids. They were the Sea Org were there, regging and selling and doing stuff, and the kids were like in little bassinets next to them, and everybody was smoking back then. And I said, you got to get these children away from here so that they've got a space. I was standing up for them for a long time, but not that it helped any. Anyway, the Elk of Antioch says Bethel is like flag or in face. Oh, a regional management organization of JW. They infamously leaked a video telling their members how to avoid masturbation. Wow. That, and how did that go over? Did that go over? Love it. And Sophie, say hi to everybody. Aw, nice hearts. California, howdy, twist, facts, and lie. And the standard. But the slime ball's biggest MO is intimidation. I think it used to be. I don't know that it is anymore because of the internet. Because people have access to the internet. And they can think nobody's looking at the internet, but just like me, and believe me, I was a true believer. I would not look at anything. I never read any of those books, nothing. My mother would send me articles on how awful Hubbard was. We'd just throw them out. And I was brainwashed. And you know what? One day, Andreas helped me. He basically, like if a boat was sinking, he offered me a hand. That's all that he did. He said, take my hand. And I did. And he really, really helped me wake up. And I had been reading books for 10 years because I was on OT7 at the top and it wasn't working. So I started reading philosophy and psychology and self-improvement and all. My husband was always making fun of me. Oh, it's another one of your secret, library books. Because I didn't want to have to spend money getting sec checked for reading these stupid books. I mean, they weren't stupid books, but it was stupid that I had to worry about reading them, because of this church. But believe me, it all helps you wake up. It does. It really does. So I think you're right. There is intimidation is there, California, howdy. But I think it's less and less with people being able to see other people who left and are fine, and it's kind of like, well, you can run that stuff, but it runs thin really quick. California howdy is the standard. All right. Intimidation is the standard. Okay. Were you in Scientology, California howdy? And how long were you in? And where did you get up to? I'm just curious. In your face is intimidation. Well, Hubbard said, always attack, never defend. So that's, an attempt at intimidation. But it's obviously not been working. So every religion thrives on intimidation. Okay. All right. Well, like somebody said, because of the internet, religions are all having a hard time. Love your stuff, Tori. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. 49ers for life. All right. Sophie, it really hurt when I came to realize that JW was a cult. I really wanted to believe about coming back on Earth and live forever. It could happen, like I said yesterday. It's like none of us are going to know whether there is an afterlife or not until we're dead. I mean, we just don't know. You can say, I know there isn't, and you can say, I know there is, but you won't know until you're dead. That's it. So I think you can believe whatever you want to believe. You don't have to change that because I just don't think it's like whatever makes you feel good, do that. Because who knows? You might be right, you might be wrong, but if it gives you more peace today to feel like you are going to come back and live forever. Okay. And you can read science books and they can say, no, that's not true. Okay. But I still say we don't know until we're dead. So that's my 2 cents on it. It's a self enforcing system, or you wash your own brain. Yeah, that's Scientology for sure. Not in, okay, one of my best friends was, he's now dropped his body. Okay, okay, California, how are you? I gotcha. One thing they don't do like they used to is stand with a video camera 6 inches from your face. Right. Yeah, but the kids have got them on that. They are screwed on that. The live streamers really changed that around. There's a lot of big, including intimidation, because they used to say to me, here's the line, here's the line, Tori. You can put you can't move over this line, or we're going to call the police. And if you've seen Field of Dreams where he puts his hand into the corn, that's what I would do with their line. I would put my toes over that line, just for fun, right? But now, last summer when we did a protest, there were so many live stream cameras going. I walked all the way down into their parking lot. I sat on their fence that they never, ever let us sit on. What are they going to do? I said, hey, talk to the cameras. Don't talk to me. The guy was like, you're trespassing. I said, talk to the cameras. They're listening. They have thousands and thousands of subscribers that are following them and listening and hearing this. So realize it's no longer, because we used to protest with, one person, one camera, one, maybe a videotape, or mostly just photographs. Now you've got 10 cameras all going with, 0 to 50,000 people following them, each one. And I know what happened, because the guy finally said I had to leave, and I went walking up the driveway. And then I said to Drew, let's go sit on all the places they've said we're not allowed to sit. And we did. We went everywhere, sat down. They didn't do anything. And I know what happened. Their boss said, just leave it be. We look so awful. Just let her do whatever she wants. Because we weren't doing anything bad. We were sitting on a bench that was out there. And they were always like, no, you can't sit on the bench. We'd sit on, whatever. It was just little stuff. So it makes a big difference. So it used to be huge intimidation. It's not so much anymore because of the cameras. I think the Scientology handler was trying. You mean the guy behind us? No. I used to be sent out to handle people. When you go out to handle people, you talk to them. And I know that, and Drew knows that too. We've been around other handlers that talk to people. But no, he was just taking notes and reporting up line. Whatever he could hear. I mean, we all had it on camera. Why does he need that? Why do they need that guy behind us, just to show what morons they are? I think the Scientology handler was trying. Okay. Sophie, I really think that all the in-your-face handlings by Scientology, by early critics like Tori, made them look really bad when the public saw it. Well, I didn't make them look bad, because I wasn't an in-your-face, yelling at them. People were yelling at me, and I was saying, look, let's talk. I got a lot of people to leave. And I told you, I asked Laurel Sullivan, who was L. Ron Hubbard's personal PR, and I said, I don't get it. Why am I successful and OSA can't do anything? And she said, you were never trained in L. Ron Hubbard's PR tech, were you? And that's when I realized everything that I use is from my parents. It's not from Scientology. Up until that moment, I always thought my abilities were from Scientology. And at that moment, I realized, no, they're not. My dad was broadcasting on TV and kind of a natural PR. My mom was a natural PR also, and they were just good at talking to people. And so I came into Scientology with those skills. It wasn't like they gave me those skills. If anything, let's not go there. It's just I'm glad. I always want to thank my parents because they did. They helped me a lot. All right. So I wasn't an in your face person. I was out there, and maybe I did make them look bad. I don't know. I really don't on that one. California howdy. I'm sorry about your friend. Yeah, good thinking, Sophie. Yeah, I am too. California howdy. That's a shame. But I'm really glad you didn't get in it. I mean, that shows some real good strength. That's why I wanted to ask you. I had a feeling you weren't in it, but that's good. That's a good thing. That isn't a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's funny because sometimes I talk to ex Scientologists and they're like, "Yeah, I never got to do the OT levels," and I'm like, "Wait, wait, 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 wait. That is a great thing. You are saving thousands and thousands of dollars and probably endless hours of therapy." Okay, let's see what this says. When I first saw the footage of Scientologists yelling and filming at protesters, it made them look unhinged. Not you, Tori. You look like an angel in those videos. They look aggressive. I know it. That's why I try to tell people don't yell. It doesn't. It all it does is reinforce what OSA says. You go back in and they go, "Do you really want to be out with those people?" And you go, "No, they're nuts." And they go, "Exactly." So whereas the one guy, there was one man that came up to me, and I've said this a million times, but maybe somebody new's on here didn't hear it. This one guy came up to me and he said, "Can I just ask you a question?" And he really asked it in a way where he wanted to hear what I had to say. It wasn't like, "I want to ask you a question," that kind of thing. He was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And he said, "Okay, if you're free, why can't you read certain books?" Which you can't. That's not allowed in Scientology. And I said, "Well, I can read whatever I want. I just don't choose to read those books." It's like I'm sure my ex-husband says, "Well, I could talk to Tori. I just don't want to." Now, the fact is, every person who leaves the Church of Scientology, the first thing they do is reconnect with their family and friends. And that's how I know that is not true. Harold Bazazian. Happy Father's Day. Um, so let me get back to this. Thank you, Sophie. Yeah, I'm very anti yelling to this day, because I know what happens. You just put down the plexiglass, you don't hear a thing. They just look crazy. Mark Bunker has some great footage from the era of protest. I think the cult realizes it's bad PR. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They're really bad at realizing things. California howdy. Sophie, thank you. One of the classiest and nicest people I've known. He knew well he couldn't recruit me. I even got the tour of Clearwater of the hotel, had lunch there, went to it. Wow. Well, I'm really glad, he sounds like he was a cool guy and he knew you didn't want to do it. And there you go, you didn't. 49ers for life. I thought all the protesters acted really respectful at the protests. I did too. I thought it was really good. It was really well done. A couple of Scientologists were driving like maniacs. They were. There was almost no one there. I mean, I actually said to Rib Guy, and I think to you, 49ers for life. I might not have to you because I had my camera going, but I wasn't sure anybody was even there. I really wasn't. I thought, they used to have a thing called Sea Org Day, and they would let everybody go to the beach. And I thought, they might have done that because it really felt, you know how you can feel energy when you walk into a street, even though nobody's inside or nobody's they're inside, but you can feel they're there, even though all the windows are closed and stuff like that. But yesterday, I couldn't feel anybody except that one guy that drove out like a maniac. You're right. He was really crazy. I didn't see the second one. I just saw him. The Elron Fantasy Museum. Haha, yeah, definitely. But you're right, 49ers for Life. I thought they were really good. They did a great job, including you. Tim Greenglass, Hubbard said something like, when they howl and yell, it means they resent our effectiveness. The ironic thing that I realized right before I left is that Hubbard had policy for this side and this side. It didn't matter. I never knew that, because you'd get in trouble for something and they'd go, well, here's the policy. And you'd be like, oh, okay. And then you'd be in something else where it'd be the opposite of that. And they'd go, well, here's the policy. And you'd be like, oh, okay. Well, by the end, I guess I've been in long enough, 30 years, that I realized, wait a minute, they have policy for everything. Hubbard had written stuff for everything. If he wanted you to go out the right door, he made a policy about it. Go out the right door. And if you don't, you got in trouble. Then he made another policy saying, anybody who goes out the left door, that's fine. They're following my orders. So it's like, what the hell? It was very weird. That might not be a good example, but anyway, you get what I'm talking about. Thank you, Tim. 49ers for Life. Yeah, you told me that you thought they were at the beach. Yeah, I did. That's right. I did. It felt like nobody was there. It was very weird. California Howdy, just because someone is in a cult doesn't mean they're bad. That's why I agree with Tori about shouting at Scientologists, calling them names. They're people, after all. Exactly. That's what I used to say to Osa, because I'd get them to leave, and I'd go inside, and they'd go, what did you do? I said, I just talked to them. They're people. That's all they are. They're people with a different viewpoint than we have. That's it. But I did get a lot of people, not a lot, but I got more than they did. I got people to leave just by talking to them. Hey, I am who you say I am. You're never late. I told you that. Hi, welcome. Yeah, no, you're never late. So do you guys have any questions or anything else? Because I'm going to leave a little bit early tonight, so I can get a good night's sleep. Let my throat rest. Catch more flies with honey, Tori. Exactly. That's always been my theory. I was kind of raised with that with my parents. And that it's very true. It is. I mean, you can be mean to people, but think about the people being mean to you in your life. Did you follow them? Did you go, oh yeah, they're screaming at me and saying what a jerk I am? That's right, I am. I don't think anybody does. I really don't. But that guy about the book, I didn't finish it. So he said, can I ask you a question? If you're free, why can't you read certain books? So I said, I can read anything I want. So he just kept coming back. He'd go away and then he'd come back. And these are people all yelling at me, right? And he'd come up again and he'd go, can I ask you a question again? And I'd say, yeah, it's okay. And he'd say, okay, I'm sorry to be redundant, but I still have this question. If you're free, why can't you read certain books? And again, I would be like, well, I can read anything I want. I just don't want to read those books, right? And he did it like over and over, like 3 or 4 times. He did it, not being mean. Each time he would be very nice. He would listen to me. He would thank me for answering. That was it. I came home and I had this poster in my bedroom with Dalmatians, black and white Dalmatians, and one had pink collar on it, and underneath it said "Dare to be different." And I looked at it and I thought, you know what? I'm about as different as a rock. And that's from that one guy saying that to me. So that's why I always tell people you never know when you could maybe crack open, someone's Truman Show where it's just locked up and all of a sudden, and that was the beginning of it for me. It was really amazing. All right, it's late. California, howdy, Tori. Good night. Stay well and stay safe. I will. Thank you. And Barry Kuda. All right. That's cute. Did Aleister Crowley ever meet? No, he didn't. And I know that because I went to this play and Aleister Crowley was up in the balcony. And I asked the kids at break time, I said, why is Aleister Crowley always in the balcony? And they said that's our representation of it because he never really met Hubbard. Hubbard read his books, but he never really met him. So that was their way of showing it. 49ers for life. I personally think most Scientologists are good people who are getting manipulated. I do too. I really do. I know they are. Most of them are. Unfortunately, David Miscavige doesn't get called out enough. And that's going to change pretty soon because he's the one running the show, man. He really is. He's running these abuses, and he needs to be responsible for them. 49ers fan, I agree. Me too. Crowley was creepy. Yeah, it was weird for me because we went to this theater in Pasadena, and this girl was there all in black. And I said, are you part of the OTO? I was just sort of kidding. I didn't really think she was. And she goes, oh, definitely. I said, really? And I said, are you still active in it? And she goes, oh, yeah, definitely. And I was surprised. I didn't know that was his group, was the OTO. I didn't know they still had a group that was going. Jack Parsons corresponded with Crowley. Right. Love it. Totally agree. Yeah. He was apparently very creepy, and Hubbard stole a lot of his stuff. So a lot of the abusive stuff that he got was from Crowley. So there you go. All right. Well, anyway, that's how Scientology twists facts and lies. And for Laura's father, I hope you wake up and have the decency and the dignity to come out, meet your daughter, apologize to her, and admit that Scientology ran that video for you. And that's why you made it. I know that happened. I know how they work. And you can't possibly be honestly thinking she had a great childhood. She wouldn't be out here if she felt like she had a great childhood. She didn't break up your family. You broke up your family because you disconnected from Laura. And that's a fact. Don't ever try to say differently. They're so cruel putting that out on Father's Day. They always expose their insanity. I know it's cruel, but it's kind of great for us because it really does show this is who they are. You know what I mean? People, thank you, Sophie. Love you, Tori. We are so lucky to be able to ask you questions and hear your stories and truths. And I appreciate you guys listening to them. I feel like you're just such a wonderful group of people. I really appreciate it. And Sophie and Laura and Love It, thank you for being my moderators. It means a lot to me. But what was I saying? Yeah, he is completely brainwashed. You're right, 49ers for life. And it is cruel in a way, but they have a bunch of lies up about me on their Religious Freedom Watch. And they're flat out lies. And people have said to me for years, well, why don't you sue them? You know, it's libel and this and that. And I go, no, it proves fair game. It's like, that's the best thing that I can have. I go, Go there, look at it, read it, and then come talk to me. Because I can talk to anybody about it. They can't. See, that's the difference. I used to stand out in front of the testing center when they were out there recruiting, and they'd have their people passing out tickets and trying to sell books and shit like that, and I'd be there saying, "Look, I did it for 30 years. It's a scam. Don't do it." And you could tell people would get confused. It's like, well, how do we know who to believe? And I'd say, you don't know who to believe, do you? And they'd go, exactly. And I'd say, all right, well, here's the difference. I can talk to you. I can talk to them. I can talk to David Miscavige. They are not allowed to talk to me. It is a high crime. And that's the difference. If you live in America and you believe in free speech, you're not for Scientology. Thank you, Sophie. I really appreciate that. Crowley was big in rock and roll culture. The Beatles put Crowley in their Sgt. Pepper's cover? Right? Really? Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin, but Crowley's home. Wow, I didn't know this, Tim. That's really interesting history. I've never really studied Aleister Crowley, so I don't really know a bunch about him. That's fascinating. So cruel. Hope Laura is getting big hugs from her friends. She is. I think she had a really good day yesterday. And I don't think her father hurt her at all because she knows the truth. You know what I mean? And it, again, just like me with the people, with they putting up lies about me. Okay. And that shows it. Who is calling me at this time of the night? I know who it is. All right, I'm going to unplug it for now because I know who it is. It's a friend of mine, but I don't want to interrupt this because I'm talking to you guys. So, wait a second. Does it matter to you, not to me? Miss you already. I know, I miss you too. I really do. We had a good time. You were so helpful. He was so helpful at the protest. I mean, really, great guy. Flying Mom Laura, I don't think they realize how much that video proves that parent-child relationships are not honored. Yeah, exactly. They never get it. They never get it. I told them when I was in, I said, you are creating your own enemies. And you know what, Scientology? You still are. Every day, all day, you do it. And, it's like you could very easily, you'd have to go against Miscavige because he's the one running all this stuff. But I think if enough of you said, look, that's it. We're on the front lines. This is a mess. We want to get back to what we had before. And, make them sit down with you and talk to you and say these abusive things are not right. They're never going to be right. It's not like they're ever going to be right. They're not. I don't think they realize how much that video shows. Yeah, you're right, Flying Mom. 49ers fan, sadly he is. He makes it sound like she was having the best life ever. No acknowledgement of his daughter actually feels. Right, and no acknowledgement of he disconnecting from her. She needs a dog pickup. She needs the dog picked up? Where's the dog? Are you serious? You mean her you're talking about Laura? Her dog? Foxy? She needs Foxy picked up? Tell her to call me if she does, if she really needs that, because I can go pick them up. Johnny Page owns Crowley. Okay, my bad. Jimmy Page owns Crowley's home. That's okay, Tim. Don't worry about it. I love just hearing a little bit about it. It's great. It was great meeting you, Rib Guy. I know. We really loved having you there. You got to come down again. Does it matter to you, not to me? Hey, 49er as well. Face to the name. Thanks for coming out. Yeah. And we were lucky to all be together, I think. Barry. Is the church hurting financially or are they in the black? I haven't been here in 24 years, so I can't say, but they look like they're hurting. And I can't imagine they're not. They're not, they don't have the briefing course. That was big money. They don't have the Class 8 course, the Class 12 course. They don't have the missions. So it's like a lot of their income they've cut. Stupid. I mean, why? The missions were what brought in all the new people. Now they don't have anybody bringing it in. 49ers fan, so glad you got to meet Tori. I know, me too. It was really fun. And Rib Guy. I had talked to Rib Guy, and I met him once last summer, but just for a second. And then somebody started saying what a bad actor he was. And I'm on the bad actor list now. So there you go. Luckily, all the bad actors turned out to be the good actors. And there's only one bad actor, and we know who that is. Anyway, you guys, thank you for coming. For everybody who came to the protest, thank you. 49ers for life, you have to come back soon. It's an order. And for everybody that came on tonight, thank you. I really appreciate it. And tonight's Monday night, so I'll be on again Wednesday night. So there you go. And I thank you. And with that, I think I'm going to say good night. There's only one bad actor. That's right, Tori. I was typing that as you said it. Great minds think alike. Well, he took you to the cleaners. I mean, man, he was really mean about you. Love you, Tori. Have a great night. Thank you. Love it. Thank you so much. And my feet love you too. All right. I love you all. And I hopefully will see you Wednesday. Have a great rest of the night and tomorrow. All right. Peace out.